Yeah, well, honestly, you're not doing your show properly if you're not doing that now. You're wasting your money. You're just pissing it away.
I'm glad you come, Arthur.
Did you do 20,000 in a day?
One day did 25 and Lewis did
25? What did you do on Thursday, Joe?
Did 25,000 steps.
Does that take into account your dance?
Oh no, that would be 125,000.
Pretty. He's got his sausages on one plate and he's got his 3D printer on the other. He's sort of eating, printing, isn't he? You know.
Private joke. I think Elon Musk, is saying by 2040 there'll be 1 billion humanoids. A billion.
Today's episode is brought to you by MTDCNC, the go-to platform covering the latest stories in the world of manufacturing.
Welcome, everybody, to today's podcast. It is a bit of an emo download podcast that we're doing today. Not an uncut. We've got all of our uniform on, and we just wanted a bit of a recap of how was the show, how we found it. And also, we've got Arthur here, everybody. Round of applause for Arthur. You've got through the week.
Feels kind of special to actually be in the studio. I'm used to watching you guys from the other side of the pond, so...
Yeah. Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy emo?
Yeah, the show was great. It's a little bit slow from talking to everyone, but it was just nice to get to work with everyone here and actually be part of the team instead of working remotely, which is what I'm normally used to. So
yeah, it was. How did you find the show, Paul? Because
tiring, because they always are. Good fun at the same time. We had some fun, didn't we? Yeah, hard work. But in terms of the footfall, it was definitely not what I've seen emos before, and I think that's been said actually by the event organisers too.
I think it was over 80,000 people, by the way.
Which is a lot of people I was going to come to. I mean, still the numbers are... It's still, when it comes to a show, it is the biggest show, I believe, in the world, certainly close to us, to what we do. So that's a lot of people, and yet probably not as busy as previous ones, but still a lot there to see. Some fabulous stands, some really great developments in technology, which I'm sure we'll touch on over the course of this podcast. And yeah, we thoroughly enjoyable, as they always are.
How's your knees, Joe?
My knees are grand. Thank you for asking.
Did you think I've asked you that question, Joe?
Because I had a bad knee email, I'm guessing. But yeah, no, it's a lot of steps, 20,000 steps a day.
I looked at that. I did when I got home. I looked at mine. Did you do 20,000 in a day?
One day did 25 and Lewis did
25.
What did you do on Thursday, Joe?
Did 25,000 steps.
Does that take into account your dancing?
Oh no, that would be 125,000.
Emo, if you know or you don't know, but they throw the wildest, most wonderful party on a Thursday night. I have never seen the UK. In the UK, we have never touched on anything close to how incredible the party
Was it in one of the halls?
No, some of the stands have their hall party, like their stand party, their booth parties, but it's almost like a Bavarian...
Is it the beer header? Is
We're talking about
we went years
Munchen,
Graber.
Yeah, Munchen, Holland, or whatever. Something like a giant beer house. Though. Oh my god, it was massive.
It's huge,
and it's 3,000 people allegedly.
Yeah,
Maybe it sounds like one of Paul's kitchen parties.
They've been gearing up for Oktoberfest as well, I suppose.
Yeah.
Which is like preparation for that.
Why don't we do anything close to that? The stands, they're having parties till gone midnight. We came out of there and then there's the DMG Mori party still going with this like insane, like unbelievable DJ. And I mean, it's like music from Ibiza, as if you were literally going out.
The DMG Mori one?
The DMG Mori one. So the one was this, the Bavarian hall one at the Exhibitors party that they put on is basically the most sensational band. They had a rapper. They like doing songs from Eminem. It was incredible. 2 females, another guy as well. Sensational.
But who pays this? I'm kind of thinking, who pays for this? Is this part of you? It's part of your deal when
it's arranged by the organisers. Not awfully sure where the money comes from. In all fairness, but it's a great event, very well put on.
Yeah,
it's good, really good,
and it's worthwhile doing. You know what it is? It's emo and events like this, and we'll go on to it in a moment. But They are not easy for anybody, whether it's like the people, the marketing team that have worked 9 to 12 months prior to organising it, until the people who are the cherry on the cake that turn up just on the day, It's hard work. So then it's almost like that, wow, well done. Let's bring industry together. It's magnificent.
Yeah.
And I believe we should take a leaf out of that book of celebration of industry together. We're all in it together.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Well, let's do it. Let's make this the place that we say that we'll do our best to make that happen.
Actually.
I mean, you mentioned how hard work it is. The hotel that we were staying in, the guys from DMG Mori, you mentioned them. Obviously, we know a lot from that company, but the one specific marketing guy that I work with, he was coming back at about midnight from the exhibition, from not just from working, having to be back there at 7 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. That's like 5, 6, 7 days, plus all the build-up work that they've done before it. That's hard. That's hard. That's really hard. You imagine going back maybe 10, 20 years ago, probably 20, 30 years ago, when these events were 2 weeks long.
Can you imagine 2 weeks of that? You'd still be there now.
Yeah, my goodness me, how hard. I mean, you got bad knees, you'd have bad feet, elbows, shoulders.
Can we start with the knees? Is that correct?
I must admit, I loved it. I absolutely loved every moment of it. You said that it was fairly quiet, and I understand that. But there was a lot of positiveness on the stands, a lot of positivity coming from the stands. When on the last day, I had a little bit of time to walk around the event, and I was saying, how was the show? How was the show? And a lot of people even said the Monday of the show, what they weren't expecting to be busy, they were so busy on the stands. So they have that expectation a bit lower. I think because of the challenging times, and that was mentioned a lot during the week of what's happening at the moment, people were nervous about it. But I think people are really positive afterwards.
And that's, it's easy to say footfall is down, which clearly it was, but there's still lots of good news from the show, isn't there? It's where not even European, the global manufacturing businesses come together to unite. And it's still, what was the number? It's still crazy. 80,000 people. It's still the biggest show in Europe, maybe the world still. So it's easy to get down on the numbers. Still a really, really good show. We are seeing the trend of smaller stands, perhaps spending money elsewhere around the show, digital marketing and things. But it's still a good show. Lots of new technologies you'd expect at an EMO launch. But yeah, as all shows, some were busy, some were unfortunately quiet. But
I was, sorry, Arthur, you were going to say something. I was quite surprised at how many people from the US were there, actually. Yes. We talk about, because I've not experienced that to such a degree in previous EMOs. They've often maybe waited for their IMTS show, which,
that's what I was going to ask.
So they certainly you don't see a lot, certainly at MAC shows and some other smaller regional European shows. But EMO, I would say there was a lot. There was a lot there, and representation from companies as well. So from machine tool suppliers, tool suppliers. There was people from their American offices, distribution networks, or wherever. There, even in the hotel, wasn't there? We were seeing.
Well, and that's what I was going to say too. Is even from I'm from the west coast of Canada in British Columbia, and I saw people that I worked with in Langley, British Columbia, small little place, and there was a team of 4 that came over from that company to be at EMO to look into some of the technologies and to investigate them. And it's like, man, to go all of that way. I know how long it takes to get there, but they put in all of this time, and that's, I think we talked about that hopefulness of people are investing that time to get the right solutions to advance. And I think it's that turning of the tide where we're going to see more money coming through and having more drive.
A lot of people recognized you a lot.
That was weird. Yeah, it does not get any less weird.
There's a lot of conversations about, for MTD as a whole, really, the growth and stuff. I was really proud because you'd be chatting on the stand, and there you were, Arthur, just chatting away with someone else, and I haven't seen you for a while. It was just like
close your ears.
An episode of EastEnders.
I was surprised having you, Arthur, because you're still fairly new to it. Do you know what I mean?
I am, yeah.
Obviously, Tony and some of the others have been doing it for years and years. You're new to this, but you were getting stopped every booth. Is good.
Yeah, every single day I was stopped by at least a handful of people, which is weird for me. I thought, being over here in Europe, in Germany, it wouldn't be, but I was getting flagged down with people, and some of them, talk about the power of LinkedIn really quick. Yeah. These are people I connected with 5 years ago on LinkedIn, and we had talked when I was in my direct sales role a little bit about their product, and they're like flagging me down, like, oh, come here. I'm so glad you're here with me right now. And Mugi was one of them that they were just like, man, we've been talking online for so long, like come over here. And they flagged me down and sat me down for food and everything. It was wild.
But for these companies to bring over their people from America representing that territory, they must feel that there is either one of two things. They want to bring them over so they can get some familiarity with product, maybe some product knowledge, or they genuinely think there's going to be sufficient footfall there for them to be able to meet potential customers. Which of those two it might be, I don't know. But from an English perspective, there's not many. I mean, a few of our customers go to EMO, but they don't ever think that many of their customers from here are going.
Sure.
And they don't really. So I certainly saw more, I think, visitors. I mean, it's hard for me to judge. You can only go by what you see on the day. But companies from England that are manufacturers, I didn't see many there that were going to see, but lots from the US. So that was quite interesting to see that. Yeah.
Can we all discuss one character that really stood out from the crowd? You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
I saw so many people run up to them to get selfies
yeah.
the entire
Mike,
show
Mike
long.
and Mike, oh my goodness,
Just have one there, shouldn't we? I see now.
Actually, there is one over here, but
that was
it's
what a great idea, you know. It was just relentless because there was scannable options, wasn't there, to get your own little 3D printed. I think we were on the Fanuc booth first thing on the Monday morning.
There's that one guy that had about 4. I was like,
but
no.
these emails were coming through. It was like 50 before 10 o'clock in the morning, like requesting their mic.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there going, is there something wrong with the system? Is someone just playing us up here? But genuinely, people, I want my mic.
Just
so,
so you know, we are printing more mics as we speak.
Yeah,
just so you know.
Tom's 3D printers is going.
Version 2.0.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Into them, didn't we? Towards the end, we said, we can only give away 100 a day or whatever, because Monday we could give away thousands.
Would have
right.
given them all away.
I mean, Tom's pretty. He's got his sausages on one plate, and he's got his 3D printer on the other. And he's sort of printing, isn't he? You know.
Private joke.
Well, you know, so you got to tell people now, haven't we? What did happen to poor Thomas? Yeah.
Poor Thomas. We went and had some food. Of course, we're in Germany, so they like sausages, and so poor Tom. It's quite close to the time, so it was really serious. But poor Tom ate a sausage and it got stuck down his windpipe, and he couldn't barely breathe. And he came back to A&E in the UK. I hope he's okay with me telling this story. And he had to wait 2 days for them to remove that from down his windpipe. And I think where it was, he could breathe. But they couldn't dislodge it, and so they had to have surgery to get it removed. I mean, of course, in the future he'll be able to smile and laugh about it, but the severity of that is just terrible. I mean, it's just awful, and you just can't believe it. It's had a wonderful week, and then that happens.
Did you see the picture of what they fished out? My goodness, I was showing my family.
I chose not to see that picture. The thing that surprised me is we were all traveling together.
Yeah.
And I did not know about it until the next day when I was told about it. Like, he was so cavalier with this problem going on. He did not mention a single thing.
He was
obviously
very
panic kicked in when we landed.
Yeah.
That panic, that I need to get to A&E now. He just put on such a brave face, and then so he's okay now, thankfully.
Yeah.
So
you've been slinging around all these emojis with like.
Oh no, they're going. They're gonna go team, but it's too early. It's too early.
Get well, Tom. Well, he was due to be here participating in this podcast, but he's had to be eating ice cream and
Really?
and he's not allowed. He's been told he can't talk for a few days.
Tom will find that incredibly difficult. Jake, the
Not
director today, is celebrating there behind the glass.
The nurse said he could talk, but his wife said he can't. Get well, Tom.
Yeah, get well, Tom.
Yeah. Honestly, just like the severity. Thank God, we are where we are now.
Yeah.
Okay, technology. I just wanted to discuss a little bit of tech that you saw, maybe that impressed you. For me, I'll say a couple of things. Is what I saw, and when we went onto DN Solutions stand as well, was the mixture of 3D printing now. And Matsuo have got a lovely piece that they showed as well, but the mixture of 3D printing metal, but also
there's subtractive stuff too.
Subtractive and additive for 3D printed metal.
Yeah, I didn't know DN did that either.
No, I
was with you at the time when we saw it. Their booth was quite interesting as well. It's kind of snaked round, wasn't it? You sort of, followed the path all the way round. So it was almost like a journey, wasn't it? It took you through all of the technology. The livery on their machines is changing quite a lot too, which is another thing we actually spoke about, which I think, not picking out a specific company, but most of the machine tool suppliers we saw there have really got a big focus now on what their machines are, not just doing from a deliverable perspective, but what they look like. And everyone is looking for this real smart looking, forward thinking, futuristic look.
Got to make it attractive.
Yeah, and DN are following obviously in that path. Certainly with one of the new machines that we're going to see at their Mill CNC's open house. They've got new 5-axis as well, multitasking technology, all this beautiful livery. But the stand was impressive. I didn't get to see Thomas when I was there. I'd left, but I know I think he did
I thought that with him
afterwards,
well.
which was a shame I didn't get to see him. But no, it was impressive, yeah.
We also had we had a couple of shows on the SMEC stand, and I loved it because when we landed, and I said this on air, so if you've missed it, if you've heard me say this, but they really wanted to make an impact. We got off the flight, you guys were there, and there was these big billboards of SMEC. And then there was like the flags on the side of the lamppost of SMEC. Like, that's a name that's like, they really, really wanted to make a big impact at EMO this year, didn't they? And you were talking about the livery. They've changed a lot of the livery of their machines as well. They want to kind of change identity to kind of cover all varieties of machine tools, not just their hard turning that they're
they had the new 5-axis, they had a new multitasking. They had 3, they're called tap-in centers.
Yeah,
this was a really interesting thing I didn't know. And in fact, once I found out this fact, I spoke to a couple of Americans while I was at the event. The tap-in centers, they named these particular models as a tap-in center because what that then means is they're exempt from tariffs.
So they get a 5-meter, 5-axis
tapping center. Said it was a thought. We said it to Corey, didn't we, when we were on the stand? You got this huge, it was all big, so huge, and he's tapping center,
just for the American market.
Yeah, but no, the SMEC was an interesting story as well, more than anything. Their push for the European market. Germany wants to become a big market for them. They really wanted to. They really want to be seen as a leader in the machine tool field. So the stand was 677 square meters or something. So it was huge.
And a lot of machine tool companies, don't know whether you picked up on it, but using and opening up a variety of systems like Siemens, Mitsubishi, Heidenhain, and Fanuc, and everyone's kind of branching out. I think what I picked up was, automation is huge now, but variety of options to appeal to different markets as well. In different countries might prefer Mitsubishi over Fanuc, for example. That's what I heard a lot of. Is provide variety. Yeah.
Well, and that's something I saw even like LK is a new client I'm working with in the US, and they were talking about to get into the US, they have to have all 3 options. They have to have Mitsubishi, Siemens, and Fanuc because the preference geographically is just so varied that one time until last year, I think they only had Fanuc as an option, and that was enough. But then they started getting pushback, so now they've adopted that exact same mentality.
It's something you see a lot in Germany, isn't it? Probably not so much in the UK. We don't have this geographical reliance or dependence on a particular CNC control. But here in Germany, I forget, is it the north that have a lot of Siemens, in the south is Heidenhain perhaps? It's something you see a lot in Europe. Strange, really.
But it used to be down to what you wanted from a control. So operator conversational capability, operator friendly, quick to learn, always used to be the Heidenhain, didn't it, when it came to milling? And then your Siemens was a bit more for your horizontal productivity, high speeds, high machining output. Fanuc was just hugely popular on turning centers. And from a UK perspective, that's where the benchmarks kind of lied. But now, even on the SMEC stand, they had 3 of these tapping centers. One had a Fanuc, one had a Siemens, and one had a Mitsubishi.
Yeah. Well, next
they were running the same demo on all of these machines, and we were saying to them, okay, well, which is fastest, which is best? Of course,
different nuances.
They're not going to tell you.
There was differences. There is differences between them. So
it's interesting, isn't it? You got it was always certainly in my lifetime. It was always Fanuc, and then you had the shop mill, shop turn come on the market for Siemens. Yes. And then obviously there's Heidenhain on the milling side of things. Now you've got numeric 1, and it's this juggling act, isn't it?
Yeah, because I think all of these control systems have now, got to a point where they're offering the conversational front end ability, the manual guide for turning, manual guide for milling, shop turn, and all the rest of it, as you say. And so they're all pitching to every audience high processing speeds and all the rest of it. So now it's they're all very, very capable, and it's now a case of, which one can you sell the best, or which one do people
operator dependence preference, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder if you'll ever get a CNC control, which is PC based, and you just toggle across the top. Oh, I'm a fan of Fanuc, Siemens, Hino. Obviously, I don't know how you could do that with the drives and the controls and things, but Alan Bradley or someone like that independent could work on that, couldn't they?
We were on the Fanuc booth on the Monday morning, weren't we? And their big message was that it's their new it's the 500.
Yes.
So that control system, will be used a lot by machine tool integrators. You're going to see that everywhere. It's the first real evolution for a couple of decades, just all about faster processing time, operator friendly, AI. All of these AI elements that are being integrated into it. So actually, in hindsight, thinking about it, there was quite a lot of focus on control systems at the event.
Yeah, like Mastercam, they just brought out their new system as well, haven't they? The 2026.
Did you see the guitar?
Yeah, I did. Dean Zielinski.
Yeah.
You know what I did though? Because we spoke about Mastercam 2026 for a couple of hours because we did a video job. I then started the next live and I went, welcome to EMO 2026. and it was Brad who went, I think you said the wrong name. I was like, oh no, but we corrected it somehow.
Yeah, but that guitar, I mean, we did a lot at the event as well for Vericup, which I know it was Jake's team that went around several stands looking at the relationships. But there was such a focus at the event on optimization, productivity gains, all of these things. And I guess all of these suppliers are just looking at showcasing how you can machine better, machine faster, machine with taking collision elements out of it. All of these factors are
Break error.
Operator error. Yeah. All of these things were a big talking point for.
I found automation, again, like it's almost like a guarantee now. When we first started here and we did Surf and Chips and it was like, robots are coming in and stuff like that. And it was almost like it's the future. Well, when we were on System 3R stand, Dick showed us round and he was like, right, there's the AMR system and that's going to pick that up and that's going to go over to one side. It's going to drop that off and we control all of that. We can put everything into the facility. And I was like, wow. And then I saw it on a few of the stands, like DMG Mori. There was a whole area of just loads of different machines, and it just travels from like first stop to next stop. And then if you need a grinding process and probing with no operator, no operator.
Crazy, isn't it?
That is what really, I think there was a few stands where I saw that and I went, oh, it's here.
Did you go on the Siemens stand?
I didn't actually.
That was like a rock show on the Siemens stand.
Did you see that? I think it was called Hibiscus or.
Yeah, I've been on stand, but not when that was an operation. I've seen it on
Do you know what it is?
The humanoid.
Yeah. So this robot that walks around like a person, and one of the guys from Siemens was doing a talk as it was walking around. It would high five people. You could talk to it, tell it what to do. You could, when you saw it, you could immediately visualize a machine shop with 20 of these things or 20 of these things in it. And yet they don't have time off sick. They don't make mistakes. They'll.
Yeah, but can they talk about what was on TV on EastEnders last night?
They're more productive because they don't do.
The trouble is they don't smoke cigarettes.
but they would. This thing. I've got it on my phone. I took it and I sent it to my family. I was like, this. I could actually, for the first real time thing, I could see a machine shop with these walking around, with actually pressing buttons, taking parts off, moving. It's unbelievable.
Well, me and Lindsay walked past, I don't know what you call it really, like the auditorium, didn't we? And there was a gentleman in German, but I could just about work out what it was saying. And I think Elon Musk is saying by 2040 there'll be 1 billion humanoids, a billion. Circa $18,000
just
each.
walking around in everyday life.
Yeah, 1 billion of them.
Yeah. Was that the figure?
Yeah, 1 billion by 2014. It was $18,000.
Yeah,
well, just astonishing. Like the number's crazy. I don't believe it. But if it's 10% of that, it's still
going to be crazy. But he's also doubled down on investment in robotics and development of humanoids.
So interacting with us on a, we got one working down here. There's one on reception. There's one there. That type of thing. Is that what we're?
Well, I guess the dexterity, that's a good word. Yeah. Dexterity would be the hardest challenge. Picking up that cup all day, every day is going to be dead easy for humanoid.
But maybe like vision systems
maybe if it's like I think they will. They'll have basically robot gripper hands. Won't they? I doubt they won't keep these hands. If you'll fit I'm not going to use a brand, but you'll fit some sort of grip on there. And you'll pick up a billet, and then maybe you change your hands possibly, and you get a finished part. But it sounds ridiculous, but it will happen.
Guys, this is really quite scary.
In our lifetime, you bolt on the AI element of that. Machine learning, them doing what they want.
We'll see the rise in the next 10 years.
Yeah, you will have a machine shop where the owner will just go away and the whole thing will just run itself, and there'll be a production manager humanoid, and there'll be a this, and you can imagine, and he'll watch it on a camera from home maybe, and it's all just working for itself, you know.
So they take over, change a lot. So you're not coming in and change all the back details.
Yeah, they won't be responsible for invoicing.
I know. Do actually feel comfortable with that? Like, as in, like the long-term effects of it, because it's almost like, I know it sounds crazy and it is something that we're talking about, but it is quite.
I think my view would be, if I was a business owner and I struggled with finding people to be able to turn up, do the right jobs, I would feel very comfortable with it, because I would think that it would make my business better, you know. Yeah. So, I mean, that would be, I think, how I would view it. Yeah, and I could see
it's a challenge. It's two working theories, isn't there? But both of the working theories involve having significantly less jobs, like eye-watering amount of jobs reduction. And essentially, one is going to create a lot of wealth. People sat at home, potentially the government are handing out money because there's no jobs. And the other one is where it's exactly the same, but there's no wealth creation, so no one's got money. But either way, it's a significant reduction in jobs.
Yeah, and I think if we end up more like the Jetsons, everyone here has seen the Jetsons, right? That cartoon. If we end up more like that, where they're working maybe 4 hours a week, but the robots take care of all the menial stuff. Yeah. You spend 4 hours a week thinking, the rest of the time you're playing with your family and your robot dog, and you're on the treadmill at home and you're doing adventures. Cool. I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
I'm not excited about the other side of things where the robots run everything. And, you know, like that movie WALL-E, right? Where everyone's just very large, sitting in chairs, doing nothing and just watching TV all the time, right? Like, that's a totally different future.
That's like you two.
Yeah, exactly. I'm already there, so I don't want to go any further.
But different side, you have to do it, don't you? Because if you don't do it, your business will ultimately fail. Whether it's basic automation or in time.
What's the difference? What's the difference between that and putting a bar feed on a machine so you haven't got or a robot on a machine so you haven't got an operator?
I think it's almost making something look like a human. I think that's my thing. Yeah.
Because you can dress them as well. Yeah. They dress them. So this one had a pair of slacks on. It did its shirt up and it put it tight. Seriously, it was really smart. Yeah, it was
really?
It put its tight. Then it put its jacket on.
Does it put orange trainers with blue shorts and a red t-shirt on?
It's very well coordinated.
The cameras work on those ones,
and it smoked cigars. Yeah, it was honestly did everything. It was really great to see. Yeah. You got this
electric robot.
I don't know. I'm all for that. I am. But I just have this mindset when I talk to my children. I'm like, I have this thing of going, let them be bored. Yeah. So if I let them be bored, then that creativity, and we're in that kind of stage of our lives and stuff where we've seen it go from not so much, and we're getting there. And that, what you've just described, is quite scary, isn't it? It's change. And I think it's change. There's going to be good and bad sides of this change. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
It's been about thousands of years where 90% of the planet were farmers, weren't there?
Yeah.
Well, and it's everything. The horse and carriage got replaced by cars for the most part. Like, all of the technological, it's just, we found different things to do with our time.
Yeah.
So it's more, what would you do if you only had to work 4 hours a week, Lens? Like, what would you do with your time?
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Look at that face.
He was just ready to just take a bite.
It is. I mean, that is, I think it's a very good point you make, Arthur, because I think if that is a way of giving people a better work-life balance, then absolutely. But there just needs some governance and some controls and regulations put in place, so it can't be taken to an extreme level where...
It's the same with AI. AI, you can use it so well for so many good things, but there is an element of it needs to be controlled because it can be used for other things that aren't so good. And I think it's that same route that we're walking down to change, and that's nervousness of the unknown going forward.
AI is the problem, isn't it? Humanoids aren't the problem. That is just advanced automation, which makes sure, if you saw the Sky News I don't suppose you did, but about the 1% increase in productivity across the whole of the UK. It's astonishing. Takes us out of poverty, essentially, in the next 30 years. But humanoids will do that, but bolting on AI to it, that's a different story, isn't it? That's potentially losing jobs.
I mean, if you saw the DMG, if you went around the DMG Mori world, the AGVs that were working on machines, I mean, that's no different, is it? No. It's a vehicle that's picking up something, moving it to another machine.
It's not shaped like a human smoking a cigar, dressed in slacks, and
you didn't have a jacket on or a cravat, but it was still. Yeah, but it was still
with the new DMG Mori gear. Sorry.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, it could have been the could have been wearing the DMG Mori. I mean, that's quite novel and interesting, isn't it? To have a machine tool builder manufacturer introducing a line of clothing into their offering. Clever, really clever.
It's probably the best clothes shop I've ever visited as well. Just astonishing, wasn't it? They didn't do anything by half, like the design of the clothing. No. Just everything about that hall was just a pleasure.
Even the feel and everything of their clothing was just so premium.
Yeah, and I love the giving back message from them as well, which is quite clear. It's their expansion, growth. What they're trying to do isn't just about greed and taking volume share of machines from everybody else. It's about promoting industry, developing the industry, and making it attractive, making it better. And I think that was the narrative that was really clear from Irene and Cornelius and all the guys and the people that I interviewed at the event. There was this feeling of real warmth towards the youth, the younger generation, helping people, just making our industry better. And when you walked in that hall, it was just, I was just blown away by some of the kits.
I tell you what, there were some lovely stands. The Sodic stand, and I know we work with them a lot, but they've changed their vision as well. Yeah. They've evolved, and it's not just obviously, it's the technology.
Automation was a big message from them as well, wasn't it? You looked at I think they had 12 machines on the stand, but there was a lot of automation there because often the EDM processes, people it's almost been one of the last technologies to come into the automation world, isn't it? So now it's been seen as, okay, well, this machine, certainly with a Sodic technology, running lights out unmanned over long periods of time is not a problem because the accuracy is maintained, part quality is going to be maintained. You've got that automation with it and you're just going to be more productive. So that was a big message.
And they had the rotary axes on there.
Rotary axes on there, yeah.
It's quite interesting though, because the rotary axis, these ITS technologies, what they were saying is the fact that it's their customer that's devised this, that their own customer who's got their machines and making that product, and then they're buying that product to help do more like indexing and I think, simultaneous contouring of parts on their machines. So it's like, what's first, the chicken and the egg? And it's like they're all helping one another get better and better at what they need to do.
Did you see on the stand they had that sort of rectangular cube thing which had all the watch parts in it?
I did, yeah.
Did you see that?
I saw it all suspended in there.
Yeah. How on earth? I was talking to Peter, and he's look at this. I thought, wow, that is incredible. I said, how'd they get them in there? He was like, that's a good question. But no, I don't know how would they do it? Do you know?
Well, no. All I can imagine is they poured it in layers because it's resin and it's really hard to keep it that clear. But even trying to take a photo, like these parts, some of them were so tiny.
Yeah, but even if you did it with resin, so you'd do layers and then you'd put some in, another layer,
drop and pour.
But but the positioning of all of these items or these parts was, what's the word? It was precision, but they were all. It wasn't like you just
different angles. They're irregular.
It was all done purposefully, beautifully. So I get that, but I looked at that and I thought, but that you couldn't even do it like that. So that was amazing.
I've seen it actually. We did see it in Inotech when we went to switch.
I think it's something to do with Inotech. Yeah. So that was fabulous to see.
But like you mentioned, automation. I'm not surprised, but every booth pretty much had automation. We went to FastEms. It's quite clever. Obviously, we know FastEms for like modular automation solutions. They had the E-Lock, and basically 0 point on a machine bed. We've seen there's dozens of manufacturers at this point. But basically, the issue with some of these ones, you need pneumatics, you need hydraulics or electric, the feed to the bed, to the control. But FastEms actually have it on the robot, so you don't need services to the bed. It's quite clever, isn't it? So obviously a 0 point, and it's got the electric in the robot, and it actuates it. So you don't need the services to the table.
So you've not got to do any work on the machine or
Correct.
add it,
Yeah.
put something on there in order for the power or the resource for it. Okay.
Yeah, simple but clever.
I had a little thought the other day. Yes, it hurt my head a lot. But you know how shops and our high streets are changing? And a lot of it is because our supermarkets can sell everything.
Yeah.
And you know how a lot of the companies, there's a lot of mergers that's happened in industry. And then we talk a lot about turnkey and products. Do you think this industry will get to a point where it will whittle down to only, there'll be so many partnerships and mergers that happen that it will almost be like going to one place and they'll just do everything.
Become like a monopoly.
Yeah. Do you think? It's just. I came away and I was thinking.
Were you sitting in on the conversation that we had on the courier stand with
No,
Andy?
it was me
No?
when I go
Okay.
home and I'm thinking.
So
about
we
stuff.
were. You must have been there.
Yeah, I was.
We were talking about that from this country. That I think, from a distributor perspective, we're seeing a lot more. I think you'll see a lot more companies come together and work together with a selected portfolio of products, which covers a huge variety of
So they can go,
of disciplines.
We can look after you with everything.
And the main reason for that being that it's tough to be a distributor and you're standing on your own clearly all the time, and you're having good times and bad times. So, working together is stronger than working maybe as an individual. And so I think, in answer to your question, I think from our country's perspective, I think, yes, you're probably going to see that happen over the course of the next decade or two. Also because the skills of people being able to sell, the applications guys, the service guys, all of these things are real hard commodities to find. So if you can put a couple of companies joining forces together, may be advantageous.
Sure, and the pie is getting smaller, isn't it? Let's be honest. There's less machine tool consumption in the UK and has been for quite some time. So there's more and more brands coming as well, by the way. Same on cutting tools. So I guess at some stage, something's going to have to happen.
Well, I think it will be partnership. I also know that Jake's been giving us the wrap-up signal for like 10 minutes. So,
Sorry, Jake. You're not enjoying this.
but I do think the partnership, and it's the same thing I saw at EMO this time and same at IMTS last year. It's like you said, Paul, it's the companies coming together. The machine tool guys are finding cutting tool guys that they can work with, or software guys, software people they can work with, and they're just coming together to support the machine shops out there.
Well, a couple of things before Jake. I know Jake's doing that because he's waiting for his cup of tea and his cigar downstairs. But
Yes.
It's not a robot, is it?
I had to. I wasn't at the show on Friday, but there was a couple of. You went to the spinner stand on Friday, didn't you? And that's a business that has a real diverse range of machines, which I would have been interested to see, but I didn't get. Did I see a photo of a huge? They used to have like a micro turn, which was a small turning center with multiple turrets on it. But did I see you standing inside a big?
Yes. Yeah.
big
I
one,
actually
isn't
got
it?
inside the machine.
Yeah.
So it was a Quadrex, twin spindle, twin turret, heavy duty machine, and there's so many. It's so versatile. You know, when we said about options earlier, so you can have it obviously with one spindle, then you can have a steady rest, and however you want. And then there's different sizes that they've got choice in there. But then what I love about there's a lot that I really like about the Spinner brand and what they represent, but they have an automation system that goes on the front of one of these that you can literally, the automation system, you can slide. So it's a robot that comes in, but you can access the machine and then you can just close it. And then the robot is able to get into the machine and out. And then you can open it and access the machine whenever you want.
Isn't it?
So clever. See, it's like a wardrobe that you push.
Is that theirs
Pull.
or is that integrated?
Yeah, no, it's theirs because they have Spinner Automation as a sister company. So, yeah, but it's options with Spinner. What I will say is what I know about the brand as well is they're big enough to be able to have a lot of power and, be able to provide a lot of different machines to market, but also small enough to listen and make change. The fact that Axel Spinner, one of the owners of the brothers, go on our videos, he's listening all the time to what industry demand is. And I think that is a real kind of key takeaway from a brand like them.
That's exactly what I thought, funny enough. Quite often in a lot of companies, you've got these layers of
A
management.
hierarchy,
Yeah, exactly. And things, he can make a decision there should he need to. But the Quadrex, love it. It's 4 turrets all working independently to the 2 spindles. Yeah, stunning machine. Really good. Obviously, balancing out the cycle time, getting the parts off twice as fast rather, is potential. Other machines of a similar style with just the 2 turrets. You've got the balance turning, the balance milling. Yeah, very good machine, so it'll do really well. And couple that with the automation you just mentioned.
Yeah, there's so much choice.
Yeah, I totally missed that. I'm glad you have it on video and I'll be able to go watch that because I am so intrigued. Yeah.
But is it worth just mentioning a few of the companies? Because there's going to be, I think we did about 125 videos, was it, Joe?
Jake, how many?
Yeah.
150 plus. So it might be worth just not saying all of them, but the companies that we haven't mentioned here that we'll be able to see.
Are we going to be able to do that now?
I can just think of a few off the top of my head. Obviously, we've had the guys here from 3.9 talking about separation. Eurospark, I know we did some stuff on the new KMWay machine. You've got Hwachon that we did stuff on.
The new i2 machine. They had... There was half it. We can't go through them all, but the i2 in particular, B-axis mill turn mill, really nice machine. That really nice machine. Obviously, we did a feature on it. So
yeah, I mean
that'll be coming to the channel soon.
You did loads with System 3R's United Machining that was done stuff with. You did stuff with Doosan and
Doosan. We had that partnership there. We also had Vargas where we were looking at their just threading comparison, the head to head that they were doing on the same machine.
Yeah,
like we covered so much at this show.
Yeah, that Vargas. When you look at it, it just looks like a normal threading insert, doesn't it? But it's potentially up to 50% quicker than anything else in the market.
Half the time.
Mac TT and Mac TM. Yeah,
and they ran that demo the whole show, so you could just watch up and see it with your own eyes and just watch. Wow.
If you want at the show, you can watch it online because we did a video coming to.
Sure did.
Yeah, fair to say.
Starrag.
Oh, Starrag as well. Yeah, we did a live tour on there, and then we looked at one of their new, H series models as well. So yeah, the one of the latest compact range, the one of the biggest ones. I think it's the 70 series. So yeah, there is so much coming to the channel over the course of the coming weeks.
Well, I'm going to do mine whilst if you're going to get yours.
Just
get up the top. WFL, and we talked about their M17 mill turn as well. Great big machine, and the fact that they, for components of that size, talk about automating as well. It just blows my mind. Sonic, obviously, System 3 Art Monia and Zania. I hope I said that correctly, or Zaina. To be fair, the guys on there, they talk about endoprosthetics, prostheses or something.
Yeah.
Really, really complex.
Good machines, those, aren't they?
Gear hobbing, and they pushed Rowan to the technological limits of his really intelligent brain. So
that's almost impossible to get him beyond.
Stunning machines.
Amazing machines. And the guys that worked there were just a delight. They were just brilliant. So, and can we just also mention, we didn't go onto the stand, but it was the Romy had that waterfall.
Oh, yeah.
Effect.
Yeah.
They had water falling from the ceiling and then their graphics going, so you could watch the water as it fell, and that worked as a screen to the graphics.
Yeah.
That was incredible as well. Yeah. So there was absolutely loads to be seen.
Tom, when he was not here, did the video at Triag. They got this, I'm going to get this wrong, but essentially you've got a 5-faced tombstone for a VMC, 5-axis predominantly, but the external bit was metal. And obviously they pour in what's that? I can't manipulate. What they have on the beds. That was basically poured in. It's lightweight. It's dampening. It's a really good idea. That was. That's on the Triax stand.
We also had the Brother machining centre. They'd spent some time with the Brother stand.
The extra tools.
That's a game changer.
That was the one thing on those types of machines where people go, we need more tools, and then it was suddenly like, oh no, we've got another 50 or so, I don't know how many it was, around the side.
I think it was about 120 in total, something as it goes up to.
Yes, certainly 100. And like Lindsay says, and the footprint, it didn't look any bigger to me. So you got 100 tools on something you could fit in your garage.
And then on the Starrag stand you mentioned, there was we were making a pacemaker, which you might need, but
say that's
very nice.
I just wish they were making sense of humour.
It's a good job, your friends.
But this pacemaker was being made on a Boomertech machine, but the accuracies that were needed and the one-hit machining was incredible. The landing gear on that stand as well. They had the nose landing gear from an A350. First time it had been seen in public in its complete entirety, and they had the world record for titanium machining on their stand too. And then there was the Korea stand, which I know Rowan spent some time on, and we did as well, looking at their huge machine that they had on show. So
we'll have to close it off on that one there.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Just before we finish, obviously our faces are pretty familiar, but our team, the people that don't get seen behind the cameras, the videographers, the editors, the
The
animators,
Yeah.
Colin that makes all this happen, makes us all look good. Jake, who's here, well done, Jake.
Chloe,
and Jeremy.
who's holding the fort.
Chloe here,
whilst you're
just
not here.
helping with the lives. Stuart on the socials. It's just an amazing team, and a lot of these people get unseen, but they're not underappreciated.
And they're
So
just
well done, guys.
so responsive. That was one of the very cool things I mentioned at the beginning is watching them be able to be in their element, watching Colin orchestrate everything from behind the scenes. He's never on a camera anymore. But man, I don't know if there's anything that happens that he hasn't planned out.
Yeah.
Like a puppet on a string.
Yeah, tell you a funny.
That's all of us.
Can I tell you a funny story before we finish?
Please, is it funny?
Joe's got a new car. Joe's got a Tesla.
Oh no.
And the other day he messages me and he says, I can't get my Tesla working because apparently it's on your app. So I've got a Tesla. So I'm like, oh, it's not on mine, mate. I've got my Tesla and I get in and out of it. So I look in my products and there's two Teslas. So there's his and there's mine. So I'm thinking, oh, this should be fun. So I'm sitting there at home. There he is sitting at home. And bearing in mind, you're 200 miles away from where I am. He's sitting in his lounge in his smoking jacket with his cigars and his Chateau Neuve de Pat, and suddenly his horn starts going off. And the fart noises, and then the boot opens and the bonnet opens. Yeah, and it's...
And then the other time I was just walking away from a car in Tesco's, and the boots open.
Yeah, I'm just randomly thinking, I'm going to play that game again. Right, let's get the Tesla out there.
No, you was absolute menace.
We got to sort that out. But
Yeah, quite. It's not quite. You don't need enemies when you got friends like this.
that's automation and technology at its
Gone
best.
wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
Me
not.
too.
On that note, I think we're going to finish that one. But you have a safe journey home, back home.
Thank you
You're
very
missing
much.
your family, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm really excited to go.
You haven't lost your passport, have you?
I hope not. We'll find out at the hotel tonight.
Thank you for coming over, Arthur. And
Pleasure.
we'll see you soon.
Thank you for listening. If you want to find out more about what's happening in the world of manufacturing and engineering, visit mtdcnc.com.